Hey, so we don't have the intro done because I forgot to upload it because that's what happens when you're getting old. And Jason, who I called from the green room 10 minutes ago, I'm like, hey, man, you're not sleeping, are you? Usually, oh, I'm fine. I just called him 2 minutes ago and he did fall back asleep and he should be on momentarily. So, normally I'd have the, shtick up front with Jason here. Let's see what he said. He says he's still looking for the link. Okay, I sent that to Aaron. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, so we're gonna go about a little differently. We're gonna bring Jason in once his drunk, sleepy ass gets here. And ladies and gentlemen, my buddy Aaron Manicki. What's happening, dude?
What's going on?
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So yeah, so I won't say where I used to work or what company I used to work for, but me and Aaron worked for the same company that we won't speak of. And when you're like, I will say I was the service advisor, and you always need people out there that when shit goes sideways, because that's 80% of the day, you always need to have someone you can count on. And Aaron was one of those guys.
Nice.
Absolutely, man.
Same goes to you, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was, dude, that was the most stressful job I ever had in my life.
Was it really?
Yeah. Like everyone yelling at me all day, I couldn't handle. I'm too much of a smart ass, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I remember a couple times you being on the phone with customers and you're just trying to explain something to them and they're just not listening. And you're like, I'm trying to help you. Slam the phone down.
Oh man, it was the worst, just people screaming at you for things you have no control over.
Absolutely.
I don't have any control over that thing that was possibly being recalled somewhere.
No.
Or whatever it is, But
I think to accurately describe our jobs as a collective is snafu.
Oh my God.
It could be pretty hectic at times. It's also very it's rewarding for me. That's why I'm still there. It's why I've been there for 15, 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it could definitely be very what are we doing here?
Yeah, it was just soul sucking, man.
Yeah, it can be.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
At least where you're at, you don't have customers personally attacking you.
Absolutely not.
And try not to dude, people would say to me all the time, how do you not get fired? I'd be like, well, if you call someone out for being an asshole, they're not gonna oh yeah, I was being an asshole to your employee and he out assholed me.
I think you were being an asshole to customers too, which at some point you got to draw a line because customers will push it to the very limit.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes you just have to be stern and people take it as being an asshole. But this is like the 15th person who's asking for a 20% discount because he's got the color red car.
Right.
Oh, well, good for you. I'm sorry.
Or just can't understand what's wrong with their car, so they just want it fixed. It doesn't matter what it takes. I still want 20% off.
Like one time I'd moved to parts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd moved to parts. I was over there, much better gig,
much calmer.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there in the sky. So I'm like, oh, you've got the 1 year where in the manifold it's totally different. So this part is normally like $48.
Mm-hmm.
But in this 1 year,
it's $650.
It changed something, so it was like $400 and some odd dollars.
Yeah.
And
well, we've been dealing with a lot of catalytic converter thefts still. It seems like it's been going on for quite a long time, but I don't understand. What's the point? You're going to go through that much trouble to get underneath someone's car and steal a catalytic converter.
Yeah. So then the guy starts yelling at me about that part, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, sir, I don't make the prices. I don't, I'm just telling you what you asked for. I'm like, by the way, what do you do for a living?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to turn off my air conditioner. He goes, oh, I'm an engineer. I'm like, you guys are the reason why that part is 200 and da. So, and he's like, I'll take it,
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of time, like walking in the service drive, and someone will, there's this one lady, she's about 25 years old, hotsy totsy right from the gym, and dude, she throws her keys at me from like 50 feet away.
Are you serious?
She's like, and I just have my clipboard and I watch them, and and they come back and they hit my chest and fall on the ground.
On the floor. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, bend over and I pick them up and I walk over with the smile on my face. I'm like, hi. She's like, hi. My car's it. I'm like, you can take your keys and you can get the fuck out of my building. She's like, excuse me? I said, what you just did was assault. And by the way, I'm not your servant. I'm not going to go get your car from spot 16 where there's a big sign that says, please drive into the service drive. And you assaulted me, so you have to leave. She goes, I'm like, there's two ways you can leave. Back of a squad car or on your own.
I think I remember you telling me that at some point.
And I'm like, enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not what? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Calm down, Karen.
It's like, do you piss on the gardener because they have a hose?
Maybe it's not a big enough hose.
Oh, touché.
Oh.
But yeah, there's a bunch of stories, man. Like this one lady poking me in the stomach. You're too fat. You're too fat. I'm like, what? You're too fat. I'm like, ma'am, don't touch me. You never know. Like all of a sudden there's a lawsuit because, some lady's touching my stomach or whatever. I'm like, right. Please don't touch me. She's like, oh, you're fat. You're fat. I'm like, bitch, you need a facelift. She's, I'm like, dude, people just think they can be an asshole to you. You know what I mean?
You want help with your car.
Right.
Why not?
I'm like, you picked the wrong dude.
Yes, absolutely. They did pick the wrong dude. That's why I don't work in customer service. I can't do that.
Like there's this one lady, she pulls in and she's just pissed off. She's like, I just spent $1,850 going on this whole thing. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to take your VIN number down and get your mileage and, da-da-da. So she's da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, ma'am, okay, what's the problem? She's like, I had all this work done and look, and she shows me this piece of a car that's in the maroon family of colors.
Okay.
And I looked at it, I'm like, wow, that's a nice maroon, but it's got a little too much brown in it for me. And the maroon in our line wasn't that color.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you could see that there was no piece missing from said car. So I said, ma'am, can I see that, please? And she's by this time she's out of her car screaming, just ah. And so she hands me the thing. I'm like, yeah. What does that say? She goes, oh, Toyota. I'm like, have a nice day.
No.
Dude, like lettering this big Toyota. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was so funny, dude. That was so funny.
That's ridiculous.
Absolutely. So Jason's having issues here, apparently. Let's see if we can get him on here one more time. But yeah, so you play guitar. Or used to or whatever, right?
I've been playing a little bit more than I have in the last 16 years.
Yeah, I mean, once you become parents, sometimes that kind of goes away, but
Yep.
I still have the love for it,
Oh yeah, love, appreciation, all that stuff.
Like
I own 4 guitars right now. I actually own the very first guitar I ever owned, and never went up to it. Never gotten rid of a guitar.
Oh, really?
No.
Cool.
I still play them all. I actually just put new strings on the very first guitar I ever bought, which is a crate. I bought it as a crate package where it was an amp, a couple cables, and a guitar all together.
Was it a Squire or something, or
it's like a knockoff Squire, yeah. Crate brand.
Oh yeah, Crate, yeah.
Looks like a Fender,
right?
Squire. I played that for a couple years until I actually got my favorite guitar, which in 1997, I think, was when I bought it. At the age of 16 or 17, was BC Rich Mockingbird. I don't know what it was about that guitar. I just fell in love with it, and
Dude, BC Rich has bitchin' looking guitars, man. They always have.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
especially for a certain kind of music, you know.
I always wanted a Warlock, but I was like, no, those are too common. I see them everywhere. So
Yeah.
just,
I had a Warlock for a little bit and I traded it away.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, oh man, it's such a cool looking guitar, but now everyone's got them.
And I've heard mixed reviews about how they sound. You know, it's like the pickups aren't great, or the bridge isn't great, and sometimes you'll get that little kind of twang when you're on a certain fret or whatever. But
Right.
I've never really had that problem with mine, and now I do because it's been so worn in.
Right.
It's the same guitar I've owned since 16. I've shred so much, you know, what, Metallica, Anthrax, Megadeth, Pantera,
Uh,
Lamb of God, all that stuff, Opeth, everything. I've just kind of I've thrown it across the room a couple times. So
sure.
it's been through a lot. But yeah, she's great. You want to see her?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's a 1995.
Nice. And what's her name?
I don't have a name for her.
Oh, I've got names for all my guitars.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Slipknot, Metallica, Sublime, and of course,
Cowboys from Hell.
uh-huh.
And The Piece de Resistance.
Right? Pantera. How cool is that they're you know,
Coming
they're
back
back.
at it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
You know, but
absolutely.
unfortunately, we don't have these two guys there. But yeah, it's going to be, you know, at least the two guys that they have. Oh, here's Jason. Good morning, sweetheart.
I was having technical difficulties.
Yeah, you were. So, Jason, this is Aaron. Aaron.
Good to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
So yeah, we're just talking about
the boys.
Right. Now we're gonna get some Charlie in there.
Mm-hmm. A little Zach.
Right.
That's going to be wild.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, you know, and some people are having a big issue with it, but I don't know, man. You got half the band there. Sure, you don't have the two brothers there, but these two guys, you know, for people who haven't been in bands or around bands, just because the band that plays on stage doesn't mean the band isn't bigger when they're not out on the road.
Right.
Because your buddy may be jamming with the band for, you know, every time he's free or whatever. So that's what, you know, Zach and Charlie would do all the time. And I guess Dimebag was like the, you know, the sixth member of Anthrax or whatever.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that people have a issue with is that they're using the name Pantera. Like they don't have the right to do that, which
well, they did because they asked, you know, Vinny and Dime's family and they said it was cool.
Yeah, they got the blessings, I heard. So
yeah, and I'm sure the family's getting half the take.
Oh, for sure. I'm just saying, I think the general public is having an issue with that because it's Pantera. You can't have Pantera without.
Well, you know, and this is when the younger people get fucking schooled. You know, hey,
Pantera. Yeah,
go back and look, and those dudes were all brothers, man. And it's like, yeah, you know, he's going to play for them. You know.
Well, Zach and Dime were real tight too. I mean,
exactly. And you know, Anthrax is touring with you know, Zach's band right now. So I'm sure they've been rehearsing for the past however long they've been out anyway. But
right,
you know, but if you think about the guys that they got in, they're bona fides. They're not.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Just hired, you know.
I can't speak for Zach Wild. I was never a huge fan of Zach Wild, but I appreciate his guitar playing. He's a great guitar player.
Dude, I think as a person, he's fucking hilarious.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't necessarily like everything he does. He's a talented guitar player.
Right.
But like, okay, he'll speak his mind and cool, good for him, man. Right on.
Right.
You know, we need more. There's only one Zach Wild.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But
I think that he's best fit for it because they were such close friends. Yeah, really, that's about it. I don't know if I agree so much with Zach's style of playing to fitting, but it's very close. I wish he would pick up a guitar with a whammy bar, maybe. You know, that might help a little bit, because a lot of Dimebag's mystique and just awe is all in the whammy bar. If you really pay attention to Dimebag and who he is, it's the whammy bar that just everything he does harmonic wise is just brilliant, but it's because of the whammy bar. And Zach's got such that different style of, he's got those pinch harmonics, which don't quite
big vibrato too, just
yeah. But they don't quite make up for Dimebag, but I can see the fit, and I really am excited about going to see. I don't care about paying money for it. I don't care about, it's all about honoring the two brothers, and Dimebag was always one of my idols growing up. Always will be.
Yeah.
And whatever it takes to, keep their name in the media and keep their music going and alive, and just even if you listen to some of the songs, the messages, the things that I went through as a teenager, those songs helped me out so much.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter what album.
Right.
All of them have impacted me in some sort of way.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about music, whatever you attach it to, it did that for you.
It freezes in time,
Yeah, it's a time machine, exactly.
Yeah,
music is time machine tied in with memory, dude. There you go, $1 million. Thank you. I know that was random. That's an inside joke. So Jay, I've known Aaron a long time. We used to work together, and we're telling some funny stories about work and everything. So that was an inside joke.
Yeah,
but so Aaron is a guitar player. So he could show your guitar one more time.
Sure. This is my BC Rich Mockingbird. I bought it in about 1997, 98.
Nice.
Put this awesome little Pantera homage.
Nice. Cool. Everyone needs a guitar with stickers on it, man.
Oh, absolutely.
But okay, so who are your big influences coming up? Because you're like a generation behind us in like metal.
Sure.
Metal.
I mean, number one, I gotta say Metallica.
Yeah.
I obviously Metallica, but I did kind of Metallica in reverse. I was just thinking about this earlier today. So my brother is about 4 years older than I am. So in 1991, I was 8, and he was 12. So when the Black Album came out, everyone was, and the only song I ever really heard was "Wherever I May Roam," and I thought, all right, what are these old people freaking talking about? I was 8 years old. Like, I don't care where you go, just go.
Right.
I didn't understand the music at all. So years went by, and then they came out with Load and Reload, and by that time I was 12, 13, 14 years old. So that's kind of where I started with Metallica, at least. I know a lot of people got differing opinions on that too. I don't care. I love both of those albums. I always will. Those were always really my first. And then I started tracking backwards. Actually, I think I went to the beginning first. So I went to Kill 'Em All and then worked my way up from there. And then finally, learned to appreciate the Black Album, I guess. But Master of Puppets and Justice for All.
Right. The Master of Puppets, I mean, we just did a reaction video 36 years later.
I know. I just watched it.
Dude, it's one of the best songs ever.
Yeah, I'm glad it's, gaining more momentum. I've been practicing it. Eddie Munson, Eat Your Heart Out.
Nice. Yeah, it's weird too, because people do have such a weird thing with Metallica. Like, oh, dude, they sold it. It's like, dude, you can't do the same thing.
You got to go
on that level for fucking 40 years. You can't do it.
Right. Well, you can if you're Anthrax, I guess.
Well, I mean, but even they had, some, they changes for a while. Everyone's like, yeah, whatever.
That wasn't a good example. Anthrax does whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But it was just, it was just weird. Like, like hopefully because of this thing's happening, tribute to, the brothers, hopefully Roth will get his head out of his ass and let the Van Halen fucking thing happen because everyone's ready to do it.
Yeah.
Dave's being an issue, so.
Didn't they try that a couple years ago? Didn't they go live somewhere? And
well, no, I mean, they wanted to do a thing. And it was going to be 2 drummers, 2 bass players.
Oh.
It was going to be Jason Newsted and Michael Anthony, Tommy Lee and Alex Van Halen, Satriani and Lucifer.
Oh.
And then David Lee Roth and Pink.
Well, I'm out of the news on that one.
Yeah, so they just kind of what's his name? Jason let it slip about a month ago.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, I can't honor that band. Like, there's nothing I can do that can honor the band the way that it needs to be honored. So I'm out, But he said it, and then, yeah, but it's a tribute to the music, man. If you have good players and they're friends, man, it shouldn't, take a page from the blues, you guys, and, remove the stick, really, it's about the music, right? Everyone's worried about something. Oh my God. Zach and Charlie don't need the money.
No. I mean, they're doing it to honor the boys too.
They're probably donating all of it right to the kids of the, you know what I mean?
I sure hope so.
So, but it's a big machine. It's a big, it's not like they're going to own part of Pantera.
No, it's never going to be the same thing. They're never going to fill those shoes. If you're not a hardcore Pantera fan, then you're never going to understand that. As a hardcore Pantera fan, you're like,
and I'm sure if they ever like got together and then recorded as a unit, they'd probably call it like Cowboys from Hell or something.
Yeah, sure.
There we go. And then now it's another band. Don't do the Van Halen thing, but I think it's just because there's a whole generation that hasn't seen Pantera or heard Pantera live.
It's dying out, I think. I think it's going down the wayside, and that is kind of sad for me.
Getting old there.
Okay, so funny thing is I'm 39 years old right now, and that's how old Dimebag was when, So I'm kind of going through this thing right now, and I remember the day when that happened. I don't think any metalhead who loved them didn't remember, where they were when they heard all the facts coming in, and now I'm thinking about it. What, 21 years later, something like that. It was 2004, so
almost.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, Jason's like, don't ask me to do math.
I can't do math now.
Yeah,
don't math me. Don't math me.
And don't math me either.
Nice, Jason. What you drinking today, sir?
Sparkling water. How about
Are
that?
you really?
I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we did a 10% off thing. I lost 10% of my weight, and I'm going to lose another 18 more pounds. I did. Yeah, 2 pounds a week. And Jason is now on the go.
Yeah, I'm on the
to lose some weight. He said he lost a couple inches off the old belly there.
Yeah, the old Labanza
pounds.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get older, man, it's harder to do.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But
especially when you love beer,
Yeah.
Leinenkugels. Yeah.
A summer shandy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nice.
So I wanted to introduce
nice tea, Jason.
So this is my favorite mix. You basically take a summer shandy, you take a shot of Deep Eddy lemon.
Oh,
nice.
I call it the deep shandy. Kind of takes a lot of that fizz away from the Leinenkugels and adds a little bit of.
Gotcha. Nice. See, at CreatiVity Talkin, you learn things every day.
Learn about booze.
So so you just went and you hiked the Grand Canyon. So how did it start out? Were you a camping person? Did you always like camping as a kid? Because I love the Grand Canyon. I love looking at it. I love looking at pictures at it. I've flown it over a bunch of times. Never been there.
Yeah.
But I've been adjacent a bunch of times.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people who have flown over it but never been there.
Yeah, and it's fucking huge.
Oh, it really is. I think it's something like 4.5 miles wide across. The south rim is at about 7,000 feet. Then the north rim is at about 1,000 feet higher than that on the other side. It's humongous. Pictures never do it justice.
Right.
Even if you got professional pictures.
You can't capture it. The depth will never be captured, for sure.
No. And I tried to do my best this time. So me and camping kind of actually started out with the Grand Canyon. I'd never gone camping before. It was 2003. So I was 20 years old. I grew up, here. But long story short, ended up moving out to the Grand Canyon and lived there for about 3 months over the summer of 2003.
Wow.
Another long story short, it was my ex-girlfriend's brother who I'd moved out there with. Friends of the family. I was friends with all of them. So
Yeah.
I found out that he had his mother had lived out there. So he was like, "You want to just pack up and go?"
Right.
I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm gonna pack up and go to the Grand Canyon." Years old, I got nothing better to do. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
So that's really how it started. We drove out there. I drove a 1979 Ford LTD in maroon, and must have gone through about $700 worth of gas. And it was an oil burner, so we had to pick up a case of oil. Yeah. Car talk, rear main seal was leaking on top of the exhaust, so I was like Blues Brother in it the whole way there with fumes and smoke out the back.
Wow.
So yeah, we headed out there just on a whim, and ended up kind of going our separate ways in the end, but that didn't matter. He had where he was going to go, and I had my own story to live. So that's the way it ended up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you gotta be, you gotta break away from the book and do your own thing.
Well, one thing led to another, which led to another, and that's cool with me. I mean, yeah, I'm holding no grudges, especially not after 19 years of past.
Right.
I'm not going to go there, but anyway, yeah. So I found my own way there, and I worked in a, I guess you would call it like it was like a prep kitchen area. I was doing prep work. I was doing stuff like making baked potatoes, salmon, salsas, spaghetti. I was cooking burgers and stuff like that. It's really cheap to live out there too. It's ridiculously cheap to live out there rent-wise. Yeah. Working for Pantera was one of the best times I ever had in my life. And I got to wake up to the Grand Canyon every single day. I think that was the most energetic time of my life. I had a bike. I rode my bike everywhere. I was as fit as I possibly could be, I think, at that moment. And then, September came around. I'd been there for about 2.5 months, just doing my thing. And I was like, you know what? I really want to go down there. And everyone kept, oh, you don't want to do that. You got to prepare yourself for that and all this stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, sure. I'm sure about that. But like, I knew I could do it.
Right.
So I actually had to kind of weasel my way into getting down there, which someone I met out there helped me with greatly. Because, we all work for the same companies. It's kind of like working in a small town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's in everybody's business. And, everyone's got their friends and their hookups and stuff like that. So one of the friends I met out there was really good friends with the HR department and the backcountry department. And they got me a spot in Phantom Ranch, which is down at the bottom of the canyon, just on the north side. It's a whole area of cabins that there's a campsite where I just stayed at this time, but last time I got in with the cabins, which are air conditioned and have bathrooms and all that stuff. Nice. It's pretty sweet. Yeah. They fed you dinner at night. They had beer down there. So that was my first hike down when I was 20 years old. I had no experience. I was just this scrawny little metalhead from Illinois.
Right. Who
had moved to the Grand Canyon. He was like, I'm doing it.
Hell yeah, I'll go.
So, side note, you're gonna find this interesting. I didn't go alone the first time. I actually went down with a stripper from.
Right on.
Hey, if you're gonna go down, I
Las
would say
Vegas.
go down on a stripper. I mean,
What?
there's not even anyone here. I had to do that for dramatic effect because
That's right.
that's
Yeah.
what happens when three guys are together drinking and iced tea and sparkling water.
Exactly.
That's right.
But yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that I spent enough time there after that, so I decided to move back home. There was a lot of stuff that happened. 2000 to 2004 in my life was a very interesting time, and moving to the Grand Canyon was one of the best times. And having so much drama in between happen, in between some of the greatest moments of your life, I was kind of like, you know what? Maybe I should just get out of here before things go really south.
Right.
And I just didn't want to. I didn't want to taint my memory of what it was like having the greatest time of my life with some of the worst times of my life. So
yeah, that'll happen.
drama put aside, I ended up moving back home.
Yeah.
What ended up being a good thing, because 2 months later I met my future wife. So
Very nice. Very nice.
I mean that's how life kind of works out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 19 years pass and here we are.
Right. And you got, from what I've seen, and I've, met her a few times, you guys are a really good couple. You know what I mean? It's good to see.
Oh yeah.
Especially for us, rocker drags that are out there, young Aaron gives us hope that we can still find somebody. But see, she even fucking tagged him. Right in the fucking eyebrow. But
Right.
yeah.
I used to wear service tags off of this from work.
Dude, it used to, when at work, I'd be like, oh man, like I was always worried every time I'd see like grease. I'm like, man, he just came like really close to ripping that thing right off his face.
No.
Well, you never know, because something can happen and that you have no control over.
This is what you got to worry about.
Yeah.
I mean,
worried about that long.
That's
long
why
ago.
I got
long ago. Oh, yeah. So here's me and Jay back in the day.
Yeah. Awesome.
Right. So everyone, like, subscribe, and share, just in case I didn't forget to mention it. And you can find us on Spotify and anywhere you can find your podcast that you listen to. Anyway, but yeah, man. So okay, so how long did you live in the canyon?
It was for 3 months.
Dude, that's
That's awesome.
Dude,
Yeah.
3 months at that age is like a fucking 10 years.
It was a lifetime. There so many nights of just so it was in the summertime too, which is the busiest,
Right.
Time of the year, and there's people from all over the country.
Right. So you're meeting all types of people, hearing all types of stories.
Oh yeah.
You probably became more worldly at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
Maybe not. Maybe on top,
You know what I
because I roommated with somebody from Yugoslavia and met another person from Latvia. Our neighbors were Polish. You got people from all over the world up top. It's only the few and the daring that really go down to the bottom.
Right, but you meet a whole different type of personality.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and the language barriers it's just like being in India where they speak 15 different dialects. It's like, what are you saying? I want to be friends with you, but it's like, I don't know if I can.
I know. I always like Jason. Every time he wants to go to Taiwan, he's like, dude, I don't speak any English. I'm like, you know what to do. He goes, oh yeah.
The universal.
Yeah. It works. Yeah, it works in he works in 27 countries that he hasn't been to.
Right.
That was just a joke for people who are uptight. Release the stick. It's a joke.
Let it go.
This is what guys do when they hang. So, and it's pretty interesting that we have 300% more female viewers for our show that's by guys, for guys, and has mostly guys on it.
Trying to learn our secrets.
Right. Well, in a time when it's can be considered bad to be a guy, you know, and we talk about guy things and we don't, you know what I mean? It's totally, you know.
I think it's a pretty bad time to be a woman right about now too.
Sure.
To be perfectly honest. I mean, really, what's going on with that?
Oh, states' rights. Yeah, the thing that younger people do not understand is rights aren't guaranteed. You have to keep on fighting for them.
Yeah.
And the fact that they had one party in power that had all three parts of the government, and they didn't secure that.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's really bad.
And now basically what they've done is they kicked it back to the states. And so now the states' rights are supposed to be more, you know, mean more than federal. So now it's brought to the states to vote. I'm just telling you what it is, but it's legal where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so as a guy, I don't have an opinion on it because it's not my body. You know what I mean? But doesn't mean that I agree with it either. You know what I'm saying? Don't agree with it. But there was a way that they could have unwound from it, but it became a political play. And now here we are. You know, you can't force people on one hand to do a medical procedure and then not have, you know what I mean? My body, my choice. I just happened to make a joke out of it when the vaccines came out. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to use this. Watch. And then Roe v. Wade is going to be upturned because they've doubled down so much on that you must get this vaccine. We have to control what goes in and out of your body. That now they've gone so far that they couldn't make that counter argument for that. Because it wasn't like that. They didn't know that was coming up to be voted on. They didn't not know that.
True.
It wasn't a secret. They didn't talk about it until after it was dealt with. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things, you know, do I agree with it? Absolutely not. I'm just explaining it from the way that I see it. And there's always games being played.
For sure.
You know, but, you know, I thought it was settled myself. But there you go. But, you know, but before that, yeah, there is a thing about guys not being able to be guys. But
true. Especially not have feelings.
Yeah, exactly. Or talk about it or, you know, be heard.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever, you know. We're not all bad.
No.
You know.
No, especially us metalheads.
Right.
We're not bad people. Some of us are a little crazy.
Yeah, normally we don't talk politics on here because it just gets too crazy because both parties are totally full of shit. And if you believe one isn't, you're insane.
No.
Because they're both playing with you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And how much, you know, just like example, what the Pelosi's bought, how much in shares before the vote? What, 5 million this time? Oh, but the guy who got off of a DUI, just, you know, yeah. So, I mean, you keep on going and going, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I hear this is a great new show on Fox called Crack Hunter. Oh, no. Sorry, that was a thing I saw on Hunter Biden. Anyway, but, you know, everyone's insane. Everyone's on the take. How anyone can take any of these people seriously, and the fact that they try to divide the people. They're not even for the working man anymore. No. You know, so they can all fuck off.
Right.
It's disgusting. It's enough already. Enough. You know, no one fucking cares about, you know, dude, everyone's keeping score. Shut up. You know, there's other things going on, like, you know, trying to eat and feed your family.
Right.
You know.
And which bills you're able to pay and which ones you can't, you know. Trying
to cancel Dave Chappelle, you know.
And how much time you're actually able to get off and have your mental.
And no one will ever say all the people trying to cancel Dave Chappelle are fucking racist. Oh. Even with their blue hair, they're fucking racist because they want to cancel the GOAT. I'm just using their own logic against them, you know. But no, I think it's ridiculous, man. You know, if you don't want to watch something, turn it off.
Right.
In order to watch, when people complain about Joe Rogan, it makes me fucking crack up all the time.
Yeah.
Do you listen to him? No. And how do you know? Oh, well, he's a right winger. What? No, he's not.
No.
Not even close.
Right.
And then, it's like, oh, well, da-da-da. Dude, then don't listen to it. You're just flapping your gums and be upset about something you don't listen to or haven't watched.
Or snippets of.
Or not even, just, oh, I heard. Okay. It's like the whole world has turned into like yellow journalism.
Right.
Like to the lefty is the National Enquirer, and then reality's over here somewhere, and everyone's in 10 blocks that way, depending on what news network they listen to.
Right.
It's so crazy, dude. I don't, and I'm sure we're not the only people looking around going,
yeah. Critical thinking, anybody?
Right. And for the thing that was brought up earlier about all the stuff that's being thrown against the wall in the past 10 years, there's only one logical response. What did you expect? At some point, they're going to do something. And where are they going to get you? Where you weren't paying attention. Like I tell, my kids all the time, the subterfuge. Hey, see this? Watch out for this hand, man. Everyone's so busy.
Right.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. I don't know what happened to the United States. It's gone absolutely apeshit.
Yeah.
But back to the Grand Canyon.
Back to that. So actually dealing with mental health, this actually kind of has to deal with that a little bit. I've been thinking about doing this for a long, long time, but I've also been working myself off, to the bone. And you working with me, I'm sure you remember what I looked like about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was. It was 2016, 2017.
I think we worked together. I think I left it like 5 years ago. Almost.
Do you think I look like the same person?
For the most part, your hair, your beard and goatee's going. It's the same. Look a couple years older, but your hair maybe like went back a little bit. But
I think the biggest thing has been actually my attitude.
Yeah.
So, in between those years, I have not a huge story, but
well, hold on before you start. I'm gonna get
Sure.
some ice because I don't want to be a jagoff and like leave in the middle of your story. Hold on.
Oh no, it's not a huge one.
But no, it's still important though.
Yeah, sure. I got some ice. Got some ice for you.
So what is it you do, Aaron, by the way? I missed that when I was tardy.
Generally speaking, I did work with Vince at one point. I work on cars.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I've been working on cars for about 15 years now.
Awesome.
Yeah. Before that, just, nothing much. Just small bits and pieces here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing particularly, worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Cars have really been the biggest part of my life.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
Are you working like on one particular brand or just a little bit of everything?
Well, we were keeping that off.
I'm gonna leave that out.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Works,
Right.
Yeah, but absolutely. Okay, so mental health.
Yeah, for sure. So before I decided to do this, I was in a bad, not a terrible place, but not the greatest place either, especially with COVID happening. And I got COVID in December of 2020. And it wasn't a severe case or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it did change me in a couple ways. And I think it made me more depressed. I don't even know why. I think it.
Oh, that makes sense though. No, because isolation is one of the there's as far as the immune system and that will enter into your level of mental health. The two worst things that you can do. One is being isolated.
For sure.
And
and I was one of the first people at my work that got it. and then a couple. Actually, no, I was one of 8 at the same time. So, group of us all got it at the same time. But I was the only one in service. Everybody else kind of got it. I don't know how I got it, but that's
Right.
not the point. Really, the point was it just kind of changed my attitude about the whole thing. You know, in many aspects, just what was going on with the world, how people were reacting to it,
Right.
and even you know, just having to go back to work, and it's not like I'm a nurse or you know, a doctor or anything like that. I didn't have to deal with any of that stuff, but
Right.
still having to get into customers' cars scared the crap out of me, especially after I got COVID, because you know, I'm glad I made it through that. I'm glad I didn't have a severe case of it. I was not vaccinated. I wasn't even able to get the vaccination at that point because
Yeah.
they didn't come out until 6 months later or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah, I got COVID in November of 19 when it was
Yeah.
Corona.
Yeah.
But yeah, I almost died. I almost bled to death.
Wow.
The blood vessel in the back of my sinus cavity ruptured, and it's not like they can break open your face.
Wow.
So
That sounds like it was a lot of fun.
yeah, so the kids there, the ex-wife was there to say goodbye, type of a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they couldn't transfusion. I was bleeding too fast. They couldn't give me a transfusion, so they're like, you know, you're probably gonna bleed out. I'm like, okay. So all I
Not
could
something
do
you
was
want to
like
hear.
fucking chill. Well, I was fine.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. I was at I'm an atheist, okay, but I was at peace, you know, and I saw my boys were doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They were taking care of business. They were asking the right questions. They were taking something seriously serious. And I knew at that point that they were going to be fine. So whatever I needed to do as a dad, good or bad, or, you know, failing or excelling, whatever it was, I saw that they're going to be okay. And then I lived. But yeah, basically they shoved this stick, you know, it's like a cement stick and it's a sponge, but it's hard as cement. I have a deviated septum, so they had to put that all the way back. So they basically, my ex-wife's sitting on my chest, holding my arm so I don't kill the doctor.
Oh, that had to be rough.
And they basically broke my nose like two or three with this deviation.
They
Right.
couldn't like knock you out and, you know, spare you the.
Dude, there was no time. Like they had no idea, you know, because it was new.
Right.
You know, and the thing that saved me, funny enough, was liquid coke. It was medicinal cocaine, antihistamines, and medicinal cocaine. Yeah, but so I totally understand your view on the psychological, because there's a huge. That's what no one's talking about. There's a huge psychological toll.
Yeah.
My brother killed himself because of it.
Yeah.
Or killed himself because of it.
Yeah.
You know, and so absolutely, but no one's talking about that part of it.
No.
It's a huge component.
I mean,
Everyone was mind fucked.
and honestly, I don't know if it's where I work. I'm sure it has something to do with that because we're all a bunch of fuckheads there. But I feel like I was in a bad mood for 6 months and nobody noticed. Or nobody bothered
Welcome
to say.
to being a dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck you, shut up.
But nobody
You're a guy. You're a guy.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Shut up. It's all right, you know.
No, I know. That's part of the problem, but I understand that.
Right.
But you know, I still in the back of my head, I was like, you know, it's been like 6 months now, and not one person has asked me how
you are
doing? Are you okay?
Right.
And I don't know. I think things just progressively got worse, you know, at home and at work. And I got to this point where it was like, I don't feel like myself. And it was almost a year. I think it was November. Yeah. So it was November of 2021. So I got it in December of 2020. And by November of 2020, I felt like this is two things. I felt like it had gone on forever. and then it's almost like a flip, like a light switch flipped, and I realized that there was something seriously not right with me, because for over the last year, COVID related, I had been very depressed. I had been very kind of secluded. I'd shut off almost everybody, and it was almost like this. I mean, I didn't do it on purpose. It was just a natural kind of a reaction that I had.
Right.
So I finally decided to get some help and go see a doctor. And I've been fighting that for years, because I'm like, I don't like meds. I don't need meds. I can, take care of myself, manage myself. I can work on myself.
Not everyone needs meds. There's different options. It depends who you see, what level of treatment, what level of counseling versus,
Right. My whole deal before all of this was that I believed that if I had an anger issue, or if I had a depression issue, and I hadn't been depressed since I was like 15, 16 years old. So, years and years and years and years later, this finally, COVID hit, boom, everything changed. And I was like, oh, I've felt this before. I knew I had to do something about it, but
sure.
I think the thing that changed my mind is that just going to see somebody and having them ask the right questions, and you telling them truthfully what's going on, they can actually help you,
Right. Yeah, and just like, when you're when you need to go to the dentist, it's like going to the dentist. If you need a tune-up or whatever, something's going on, you fucking go.
Right. He's not lying to you.
Right.
I mean,
some of them. I've been in a lot of therapy when I was younger, and there was a lot of people back then that were just, but you got to find the right person.
Yeah.
And sometimes, people get discouraged. They'll go try one person, they don't get along with them, and they think therapy's that. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You just got to find someone that you get along with. Really. I mean, that's the bottom line. And if you're looking to get medicated, there's one type of person that you go see. If you don't want to get medicated, or you want to have the option to get medicated through that same person, there's another person to see. If you don't want any type of medical intervention, there's another type of person to see. Just because they're a psychologist doesn't mean that there are also a counselor.
Yeah.
So there's different levels, and a lot of people don't understand that. They just clump it.
Right.
Like, you work on cars. Well, that's a huge fucking,
Well, especially when you're dealing with the brain. Yeah, that's completely different.
Just a little bit.
But I got to give you props, because you're one of the only few people I know that are honestly open and just straight up. You can come to me, you can talk to me. And in fact, if you don't want to talk to me, talk to somebody, because, don't just assume that this is it, this is the end, or you're hopeless. You got to talk to somebody, because you will find somebody out there.
Yeah.
And not too many people are out there that I know of that are really doing that and vocalizing that and saying it up front. Please come to me for help if you need it.
Right. Because, like I said earlier, like, as guys, now's not a popular time to be a guy.
Yeah.
In the social whatever that they're doing out there. And we're not part of it, because that's not us.
Right.
My generation we're not racist, we're not sexist, and you younger fucks need to fucking get it straight. Not you, but you know what I mean? People younger than you, they have this misconception of what we are. And we're the people who got it, who helped people get that, because we didn't care, because it was John or Carol. Period.
I think generations, as they get younger, and especially younger than me, I think they tend to care less and less about history. They tend to care less and less about hearing stories.
History's everything.
And nobody sits at the dinner table anymore. I mean, that's where I learned a lot of things in my family. Even just how to sit back and say, how are you doing? Now my kid's upstairs playing video games 24 hours a day, and it's like, yeah, you hungry? Right. No. Okay. Goodbye.
Yeah, you know what I did with the boys when they were growing up? I'm like, okay, like I did cartoons too, so I'm gonna watch them. When I was Mr. Mom, I'm like, okay, here's the deal. Laid the groundwork early. All right, you how much cartoon on Cartoon Networks or how long you want to watch Cartoon Network for? Oh, 2 hours. All right, do you really 2 hours? And well, maybe one. I'm like, okay. Well, first you have to watch a documentary that's an hour. I don't care what it's about. It could be about Play-Doh. It could be about how Legos were discovered. It could be about the moon. I don't care. Just you got to watch a documentary and then boom, an hour of Cartoon Network. And if you want to watch another hour, you got to find another documentary.
I like that idea.
So by the time they were fucking 10, 12, dude, they could have conversations with anybody about anything.
Yeah.
And they still got to play their games. But people are like, oh, that's a waste of time. It's the same thing if you're in a badminton in 1943. Because there weren't video games. Because if there were video games, you'd be in front of them. But no, you had a round dial radio like, that right there. You know what I mean? So that's what they do.
Does it go?
Right? Bum, bum, bum. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone's,
So I like that idea because I think that we tend to do that a lot because he's upstairs, playing video games so much that we'll call him down to have dinner and we'll tell him, you have to eat down here. And no matter where it is, because it's mostly in the living room with the dining room table or the living room coffee table now, because nobody's got time for, old school family dinner. We'll put on like the History Channel or something like that, and we'll just watch and learn about a bunch of animals, and sharks, whales, turtles, deer, birds, anything dealing with anything other than going around collecting money, putting it over here, and then going back and playing with your friends and shooting them with a gun, and then going. Games are fun, but they don't really, coming from the nation that grew up with Atari and Nintendo, and games are fun and they've evolved and they're great, but there's more to life than that. Get out of
for
your
sure.
bedroom.
When me and my kids go out, now we're talking TJ is 26 and Seth is going to be 22.
Yeah.
Even still, when we go out, no one's on their phone. The whole time we're cracking up, cracking jokes, telling stories. That never are we on our phone. And we always crack up that you have people out there. We'll make fun of people. There's a whole family right there. Mom's on the tablet, dad's on his cell phone.
No one's
kids
talking.
are on and no one's talking.
Yeah,
it's like,
sad.
Dude, your son's gonna become a cum dumpster, or something. It's like, dude, you're not gonna know if your kid's gonna become a fucking criminal because you don't even know the fucking.
Right.
What are you doing? Put the phone down. Put the whatever. What are you doing? It's so bizarre. Like, I was 8 years old when fucking Pong came out. Boo.
That was the greatest, man.
Yeah.
And then Atari, fucking Pitfall.
Right.
Swing.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the best game ever. Oh my God.
Yeah. Pitfall Harry, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, very nice, Jason. Yeah. Not bad. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you still got to get those handcuffs hanging in there. Or you got to get like some candles behind you.
Like torches.
Yeah, exactly. Not tiki torches. Don't want to freak people out.
Right.
Oh my God, that was hilarious when that happened. Because I'm like, really? My dick could beat the shit out of those 12 of those fucking guys with the tiki torches. Are you scared of those? They are not white supremacists. They're just a bunch of fucking pussies whose dads are all fucking lawyers and they got tiki torches. How embarrassing.
Right.
That is just crazy, dude. People will believe anything. It's crazy. But nice freshly shaved noggin there, Jason.
Well, thank you.
Nice. Okay, so Aaron, now so what's the process of wanting to, let's say me and Jason wanted to hike the Grand Canyon. What do we do?
First off, don't go all the way down the first time. You gotta pace yourself kind of slow because it's always easier going down than it is coming up.
Now, do you call hiking going down hiking, or is it de-hiking or unhiking? or de-escalating?
De-escalating, I guess is what I would call it.
Nice. It's something my buddy asked. I'm like, "Hey, we have it on the podcast. Somebody haven't heard. He's talking about hiking down the Grand Canyon." He goes, "Hiking down the Grand Canyon?" I'm like, "Oh, that's a good point."
And if you have hiking poles, you can ski.
Right? Exactly. Oh, by the way, we have a viewer question today coming from B in Justice, Illinois. Hey, do podcasters have groupies? Well, God, I hope so. But I don't know. I don't even know, but that was pretty funny.
What would an electronic groupie be like?
Yeah. Hey, can I send you a coin, widget? Oh, thanks for the 3 thumbs up. I have no idea. Yeah. We're going to play this one straight so Jason doesn't get in trouble or I don't get in trouble. Well, I can't get in trouble anymore. So, but, anyway. But, So, yeah, mental health is one of the reasons why this podcast exists. And, people have to be honest. And if me and Jason, we tell our stories and, some of the shit that comes out of here is fucking brutally honest. But how is anyone going to trust me or Jason or the show if we're not honest?
Yeah. And know that we get it, we know what you're saying,
Yeah, like everyone goes through similar things. They may have different faces to them, but at one point, I had something like that. You know what I mean? Once you live so many years, there's the same shit's going to happen, but there's different levels, of course, but what are you going to do?
And different people are different places in the management of it. I mean, it doesn't necessarily always go away, but you learn how to manage it, and
Right. Exactly. And me and Jason would talk always over the years, but it wasn't constant. But it didn't need to be because we're that type of friend. And fuck you, Jack up. You don't talk to each other for a year, and we're right at the
pick up where you left off.
Oh, dude, And then after my brother passed away, Jason was like making sure I was breathing like every, hey, with it, just sending me jokes and da-da-da. And, dude, just, and I had a few other people doing that. And without that, holy moly. I mean, that means someone just taking out a couple of seconds, I got a car wreck. And even though I was fine, a lot of people took the time out of their day. Well, most. And to, say, hey, how you doing?
Hope you're okay.
Cool. People stopped over at the house. They called. People I haven't talked to in a long time. They took time out of their day to wish me well, even though I said I was all right in the post. Kid lost. He was like 20 miles an hour, but he, whatever. But, that was cool. You know what I mean? I wasn't posting it to get attention. I was just like, hey, fucking, you know what I mean? But, but people still need to, like a lot of people, I feel now there's a lot of people who just are so scared to voice anything because of the mob.
Yeah.
Like if they're depressed about something, oh, well, fuck you because, oh my God, I can't even breathe right now because, oh my God, that is so ist of the OV, of the phobe because I don't understand your position. It's like, stop. You know what I mean? Like, you're not the fucking most important thing in the world. Shut up. No one cares. Sit down.
That is the biggest problem right there.
Yeah. Mind your own business.
Entitlement.
Turn the channel. Holy crap, dude.
Yep.
Dude, literally, like 2 days ago, my mother said she was in the grocery store. She's at the meat, the meat section.
Yeah, I bet she was.
And
hey, Yvonne's at the meat counter.
Hey.
Cube steak, man. She grabs two.
I love Jason's mom, Yvonne.
Yeah, but she grabs 2 packs. All of a sudden, from behind, this woman comes up and goes, "What did you just take? Was that cube steak?" She's like, "Yeah." And the lady's like, "Are you really going to take both of them?" And apparently, I guess, expected, that my mother should just surrender her groceries because
I'll be like, yeah. One of them I'm going to keep, and the other one I'm going to shove up your fucking ass.
Like, really?
Oh, shut the fuck up. How about you order one when you get the ticket pulled? Hello?
Yeah.
dude, people are so out of whack.
It's all about them, man.
Oh my god, dude!
I mean, that's a dumb little thing, but it demonstrates,
right.
you know. I mean,
Right. Just like, okay, you know how many times my kids fucking screamed in a restaurant when they were babies, kids young, up to 7.
Yeah, of
They
course.
never did it after 7, never.
right.
You know how many times? Once, one time. That's it. We're leaving. That's it. No, we're not. I'm not fucking kissing your bucket. We're leaving. And when I'm at a restaurant and it's not Chuck E. Cheese or fucking McDonald's or whatever, you know, if it's like a nice place, I'm spending quality money, and there's a kid, you know, and they're like, "Oh, isn't he cute?" I'm like, I'll walk over to the table, and I don't care if you think I'm an asshole for this. No, I'll walk over to the table. Hey, I don't get out very much, so if I'm gonna drop like $300 on a nice meal, I don't expect to hear your screaming kid. So
Do something about
there's
it.
2 options here. You're either gonna pay for my meal, or you're gonna leave. Because this is a place of business. People are trying to have a nice meal here, and your kid is running around unchecked.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's not cool.
Hey, Vince,
Yeah.
what do I do about the dog barking across the street? What do I do about that little asshole?
Is it at
you got a
late at night?
Do you have a crossbow?
Do I have a crossbow? Oh, I'm
Well,
just
what you do, you take on the end of the crossbow, you take a nice big doggy treat.
okay.
Or part of a steak, and you stick it right next to it on his doghouse so he can eat it. I love dogs. Yeah, the dog doesn't bother me. Dogs are awesome.
Oh yeah, no, I was just kidding.
Right. Well, there's a George Carlin, Joe Pesci story, and so George Carlin's telling he's talking to Joe Pesci, who was his next door neighbor, and he's talking about how he didn't believe in God and everything else. Da, 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 da. And he's like, I'll tell you why, because half the time they don't come true. No, your prayers aren't answered, whatever. So I'm like, you know what? Okay. So you know who I pray to at the end of the day? Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
He goes, and I'll tell you why.
Joe Pesci. I know this.
He's like, so I'm sitting there telling Joe that there's this fucking dog next door that will not stop. Just not, I've done everything, asked the, I've talked to the neighbor, this, that, and the other. He goes, the day after I talked to Joe Pesci, the fucking dog disappeared. So every night before I go to bed, I'm like, may Joe Pesci bless you.
Because Joe Pesci gets shit done.
Exactly.
I love
story about Joe Pesci. He was one of the guys who got the he was one of the wranglers for the Four Seasons.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he was also a singer. He's had a couple albums out, guitar player. But yeah, he was all in that doo-wop scene.
Nice.
And he was the guy who was in between the band and the mafia back in the day.
I can't imagine that.
Where would anyone get that?
You laughing at me? You think I'm a joke, huh?
But okay, so back to the Grand Canyon. Welcome to ADHD Theater, everyone. So back to the Grand Canyon. There's Aaron in his Metallica shirt.
Woo.
Okay, so, dude, so how deep is the Grand Canyon?
All right, let me do math here. So the south rim is at 7,000 feet, and the bottom near the river is 2,600 feet.
Okay, so 4,500 feet, give or take. So what's this? Is this an old Spanish fort?
I don't know the story behind that. That is the watchtower at Desert View. It's a point out. It's east of the main visitor center and town center of the Grand Canyon, and you can see where the river curves up to the north, and then straight ahead would be west, and then up north where you see the river on the left that's north.
Yeah.
So all I know about that area is that it's called Desert View, and you can just see the river bend from one direction to another.
Right.
Yeah, that's really all I know. I didn't pay. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't pay too much attention to the history.
You're there to hike. You're not there to be a geologist.
Well, yeah, I mean, this was one of my favorite spots to go to because it's just such a different view from what you can see
Yeah.
normally as a tourist. You actually have to drive here, and it takes about 45 minutes to get there.
And you know what's really funny? You know, like even as a kid, people are like, well, we don't know how the Grand Canyon was formed. How do you not see the water striations? Dude, at 5 years old with no education, I was like, how do you not see that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But imagine what it would have looked like halfway filled with water or a quarter.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the runoff from the glaciers, right?
From what I've heard from the person I stayed with recently in the canyon is that it wasn't all formed by water, but that the lower section that you can see, if you ever look deep into like pictures of it, not the first couple layers, but before the river. So like all the way on your left side, that first little kind of uprising on the right.
Yeah, all the way up where the water, where the color changes with the sediment.
Yeah. So about there. So like, halfway. In this picture, it would be halfway up that canyon, but not the whole canyon was formed by water alone. It was there before. And then something happened up north with the river flowing more than it used to, and the river then started to form the rest of the canyon down below.
It was aliens.
It was.
Dude, look at that. Where's this? This is absolutely stunning, man.
Yeah. That was a perfect placement of a park bench, I'll tell you that.
Right?
That was down at Phantom Ranch, and this is closer to the North Kaibab Trail. So anything on the south side of the river is either the Bright Angel Trail or the South Kaibab Trail. And then once you get across the river, it's all known as the North Kaibab Trail. And this is past the campsites, past the mule corrals and the ranger station, and heading towards, or I guess I should say, if you're looking at the photo, you're heading away from Phantom Ranch cabins. So I would be heading back towards the South Rim. So all the way up at the top of the screen, kind of closer to the left side, that's the South Rim.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
It really is, man.
Yeah, it really is.
And how much cool shit when you were staying there for 3 months? Because I'm sure you went off on little excursions here and there. Like, did you find anything off track? There's any like caves and shit that are unexplored, or
I did find this one. Okay, so I was using a Garmin app because I had a Garmin Inreach device that's basically just it's an emergency tracker that a lot of hikers like to use, and in case of emergency. So it's got an SOS feature on it, and it has a GPS tracking device, and it's connected to an app on your phone called Garmin Explore. And it's basically just like looking at, Google Maps, but a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Topography related, not really street related.
Yeah.
You can see, how deep and what are the elevation changes and all that stuff.
More like walking directions type of.
Yeah. And I saw on the map on my phone, you can see the Bright Angel Trail, you can see the South Kaibab Trail and North Kaibab Trail, and then there's this one little offshoot. And I looked at it on my phone, I'm like, and I'm looking at this big, huge rock wall that had to be at least 300 feet tall, maybe on a slope. Not a 45-degree slope, but closer to a 90-degree slope, somewhere in between. And I'm looking at this trail. I'm like, how could there possibly be a trail up there? So I decided to go and kind of explore a little bit. So where the campsites are, you can see on the map there's a trail that leads to a bridge that crosses the stream. that then goes up to Phantom Ranch. But if you don't cross that bridge, right behind there is this trail that you just look up and you're like, what? So I started heading up there, and I'm seriously trying to crawl through, like imagine trying to crawl up a dirt hill. I get about 25 feet up. Yeah. I've also fallen down with mouthfuls of dirt, which I almost did, which is why I was like, okay, I'm turning around. So I get about 25 feet up this wall, and I see this platforms of rocks, and I was like, holy shit, there's a trail up here. And I just started looking around. I was like, where does it go? And I started going like, I jumped back down because I was like, I'm not going up this. There's no way I'm going up this, because it looked like it was straight up into nothingness. So I went to go get a far away view from it. I couldn't spot the trail. So I was just baffled. I was like, where's this going?
Wow, there might be some cool shit up there.
It must have been like some old trail, that was just, I'd imagine rock slides have covered it up at this point, because you're looking at a slope at about like that. And it's seriously, there is a trail. You can kind of go up it, and then there's like a platform, and then there's more, and then there's another platform. I wasn't that adventurous. And apparently there's trails like that all over the place, but it's not recommended to go down those ever. Right. I just witnessed that first experience. I've never seen a trail like that before, and I would never go up that trail ever. And that's saying a lot, because it's hard going into the Grand Canyon. Well, it's not hard getting into, it's hard coming out of.
Now, is there a waiting list to get a permit to hike there?
So there's two ways you can stay down there. Like I said, the first time I stayed down there, I had the privilege of knowing somebody that got me into the Phantom Ranch cabins. Mm-hmm. So right now, ever since COVID happened, there's an 18-month waiting list.
Wow.
Something like that. And in March of this year, I tried getting a cabin, and they don't exactly tell you how long the wait is. You got to keep trying month after month after month, and you keep getting no.
And I hear the rafting is insane wait time too.
Yeah, there were tons of rafters when I was down there, and they're all honoring all the past stuff from COVID that has happened over the last 2.5 years. Yeah. So now people are finally starting to go back and go down there, and so the cabins was not a thing for me. That wasn't going to happen. So I was like, let's just, go as bare bones as I possibly can and try the Bright Angel campground.
Right.
All you need for that is a backcountry permit.
So now coming back around to when you said you went to go see someone because you were depressed, was part of your action plan hiking the canyon?
No, actually the everything that happened before that, no. That didn't have anything to do with it. I felt like I was just kind of on a downward slope and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I finally got help. And then that kind of helped me realize that I need to get out and do more. Okay. And that I needed to do this, so that kind of, and even like this, even doing this, coming on a podcast or a YouTube channel or something like this. A year ago, I would have been nervous. I would have been self-conscious. I would have been completely, baffled that I would ever even do it. And I probably would have canceled at the last second.
Yeah, but I never, me personally would never make you look like an ass. You know what I mean?
I don't care if you look. I don't care. I'll just make you look like an ass too.
Well, that doesn't take much,
No,
but
not at all. Totally. No, so that definitely it got me to the point where I realized I needed to get out of the new norm of secluding yourself and being afraid, or even after I had COVID.
The second most dangerous thing for someone's immune system. So you have isolation and fear. the two most dangerous things to the human immune system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
So, there's a huge, and a lot of people are still in it. And, like I was in it for a while too. Like I totally get it, but there was something, whatever, hopefully at some point things will get back to, whatever normal is going to be. But unfortunately, it was a mind fuck for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really.
what I mean?
I don't know if it was fear or isolation that impacted me the most. I really can't tell you,
Right.
honestly. But it was one of those or both of them, and it hit really hard, and I didn't even realize it for about 9, 10, 11 months before I finally got help, and took a while to actually get back to normal. But that was the first time that I ever really stepped up and just kind of took control of. I know I need to do something about this, because if I don't, it's gonna lead
Right.
more downhill.
Oh, for sure.
And then once I started feeling better, I started, gaining more confidence. I started just being happier, more energetic, more talkative. Everything. It was like it almost kind of went back to high school years, where I just kind of felt like I was a kid again, and I still kind of do. I still kind of feel. If you think I'm awkward now, a lot of people that we know at work know me a lot better, but
Right.
I've been more awkward in the past, and this has been one of the best. I think one of the best years that I've had self-conscious wise, and just trying to do my own thing and be my own person and do my own thing. I've been playing guitar more often. I've just been smiling more often and talking to more people, random people, saying hi to random people.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to give too many things away, but in Chicagoland area, we don't get that too many. See, you try to go to the streets of Chicago and just look at somebody random and go, hi.
Hey.
They'll be like,
Dude, it's hilarious because I'm always on the south side or the deep south side, and I'll be having fucking taco. People are like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Eating." Eating.
interesting question.
Yeah. I'm like, "What's up, man?" If I upset you, I guess I'll leave. But
Right.
yeah. Yeah, COVID did a number on a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Okay, so the main point of, I guess, me in the canyon, and just to sum it up, is really I wanted to prove to myself that I could still do it.
Right.
Really, it's been 19 years. I was 20 years old the first time I did it, and 39 now.
Right.
And again, my back kills me. I'm not exactly the youngest person,
Right.
even though.
Yeah, and we were talking before the show, Jason, and I'm like, I always loved the Grand Canyon, but at 53, I'm not gonna fucking hike it.
Oh no, shit, no.
No fucking way. I'm like, I'd love if they had like a hover thing where I could go around.
Yeah.
And, like I'll do that.
Like, where's the bus, man? Come
Like
on.
the Willis
Dude,
Tower.
my back's fucking
Yeah.
jacked. Is of course his is he works on cars. Of course his back's gonna be fucking jacked.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
I try not to even hike to the mailbox. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Right. I'm like, oh man, but man, if you haven't seen it, man, the specter of beauty is just fucking, it's breathtaking, man.
Yeah, you don't even.
I'm gonna grab a beverage, boys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and I used to go to Grande Canyon in Arizona. That's the beginning of the Grand Canyon. So that's where there's a dam there, Page, Arizona.
I'm sorry. Start over.
I used to go to Glen Canyon
Oh, okay.
Dam all the time because
Gotcha.
my aunt and uncle lived in Page, Arizona.
Gotcha.
So been there a bunch of times, but never made it to the Grand Canyon proper. You know what I mean?
I tried to make it out to Sedona this time.
Yeah.
And the really you saw my Facebook. I forgot my backcountry permit at home.
I was like, oh fuck, dude.
Yeah.
'Cause literally for the, like I've been watching you're right about over the past year, like there's a marked change in you.
Yeah.
So when you're at the Grand Canyon, that's was like dude, come on the podcast because you were in the canyon. You know, I'm like, fuck yeah, because I think the Grand Canyon, you know, especially for little boys, like when we were growing up, like you'd see all these images of the Grand Canyon and all these stories would, you know, build in your mind of, you know, at least for me, they did.
I didn't give a crap about
You know what I mean? Oh,
it,
dude, I
honestly.
love that shit. Yeah.
I didn't care
Yeah,
one bit.
you know, because like Starved Rock, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, but
Oh,
Grand
yeah.
Canyon, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yep. Stuff like that now interests me. My wife and I went out to go see a concert at Red Rocks Theater in Colorado,
nice.
and I never expected what it was going to be like until I got there.
Right.
And then just looking at the walls of the Red Rocks on both sides of the stage was just like, oh,
Right.
yeah, now I get it.
Yeah, I want to see a show there for sure. I was checking it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a great place.
absolutely. But before I forget, I do want to make a shout out to the other guys that also saved my ass back in the day. Sergio, Alan Bear, Ashley. Who else was Christian?
Tony.
Yeah. Shit. Who else am I missing?
Christian's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good dude, man.
Yeah. He's funny as hell.
Yeah, good dude. Always smiling, you know, like even though shit sucked, you know what I mean?
Come on, Wade.
It was cool, man. It was like, you know, dealing like you'd come in, you know, and like we both knew we were in fucking purgatory, you know, and be like,
Oh,
hey.
he didn't care. He didn't, all he wanted was food and to just, you know, be happy.
Yeah.
That's still, I think that's all he still wants: food and be happy.
Right. But yeah, man.
I wish I had that attitude. I'm working on it.
Oh, Jason had to put his glasses on to walk down the stairs because he's an old fucker. Uh-huh.
Here,
Yeah.
let me join you.
Right. Yeah, I got my readers on. There you go. Hey, maybe hey, your mic's muted, dumbass.
How's that?
Mr. Engineer, your fucking mic's muted.
You don't use it, you lose it, right?
Right,
I lost it.
There you go.
You still got something, right?
Right. Totally.
Use what you got.
Absolutely.
I'm going to use what I got right now.
Yeah.
Deep Eddie.
I have my iced tea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Listen, and that's apple juice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have iced tea that'll make your balls pucker. But yeah, there's a lot of good people, man, at the place of employment.
Yeah, it's hard not to say it, isn't it?
Right. Oh, totally. It's like, don't say you. But yeah, interesting shit, you know. But yeah, a lot of characters, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, characters. The people are the best part.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure.
We gotta keep each other sane by being as crazy as possible throughout the day.
Oh yeah,
dude. I can say to this day that my favorite coworker of all time,
Ken,
is Jacob.
Jacob. Okay.
Mr. Kurt. Fucking
that Jacob.
Dude. Oh my God. He's such a good guy, man. Fucking just naturally funny, generally heartwarming, just a really, a nice guy, man. And dude, fucking, you've never heard anyone belch this fucking loud, Jason. He'd go out in the service drive and be like,
Well, you probably also have never had anybody made you feel as awkward as Jacob can make you feel either. It was the most. I mean, he wasn't. I guess he's an awkward person, but he could make you feel like,
uncomfortable.
What the hell just happened to me?
Right.
Kind of feeling. In a good way, because he's a good guy, and you know he'll automatically switch from like being awkward to funny. It's great.
Oh, totally, man. And then like late at night, because we'd work nights, and then phone would ring and shit, and like so then we started like getting like Acme Parts. This is Vince. Can I help you? Yeah, what seems to be the problem with your vehicle today? Yeah, and we just totally just fuck with the dude. It was so fucking funny, man. Oh my god, this guy was hilarious. Yeah, it was funny. And then yeah, but
And
it was
then he
interesting,
moved
because there's the young guys, and then the medium young guys, and then the old timers. Old timers everyone's fucking grumpy and shit. And,
That's not always true. You know what I think it comes down to? I think it comes down
not
to
always grumpy, but there was the ones that were always grumpy for the most part.
Oh yeah, for the
You know what I
most
mean?
part.
Not that they're not good dudes, you know what I mean? But as long as you knew they're going to be grumpy,
You
is
can
all
get
right.
some pretty funny old fuckers though.
Oh, dude.
Working there.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's all in the work ethic. I think some of the funniest people that we work with are also some of the hardest workers.
Yeah, because you're there anyway. You got to entertain
Have fun. Got a little
Yeah.
fun somewhere.
Like, okay, we're fucking, only 5 more hours to go on this shit show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
What, Jason, your porn window open up? Welcome to Masturbate Central. Jason's like, what?
Eh?
Right. But, okay, so we're going to watch. So what was that?
That was scary. That's what that was. That was frightening.
Yeah, that was a pretty steep drop off right in front of me, and then that's basically just. I tried to get a lot of trail footage on this and that didn't really accurately represent it, but I tried to get a lot of trail footage where I was showing where I came from,
Perspective type of stuff.
and then I was showing where I was going, and then just trying to get a good view in between. Because I don't think you really see too much of that. If you Google Grand Canyon, or if you Google Bright Angel Trail, or any trail really in the Grand Canyon, all they really
there's no way to capture it. There's no way to
no, it's all trail runners, or it's all just people at the top of the rim, and tourists going down quarter of a mile and getting their shots and going back up, and that's not good enough for me. That really isn't. I really tried with all the videos that I took to give anybody who hasn't been there an experience of what it's like to truly be down in it, and to look up and see what you can see, and then to look down and see what you can see. Where are you going? Where you came from? What's in front of you?
Okay. This next one is 31 seconds. So we'll be back after 31. Here we go. Wow, man, I'd be like, I need a nap.
Yeah.
Shit, that's pretty intense. So how long did it take you to take that trail down?
That is within the first 15 minutes of the South Kaibab Trail. Yeah.
Welcome.
So it'll take you 5 minutes to get down what you just saw.
Uh-huh.
It'll probably take you about 10, 15 minutes to get back up that.
Nice.
But you got to realize that's only like a quarter of a quarter of a mile.
So if you got one hitting cotton, take a poop before you go down. Is what
Absolutely. No, you can definitely take a poop in the Grand Canyon, and I've done it.
Nice.
There are spots to do it. You just got to know where they're at.
That's
otherwise you got to dig a hole and do that.
Yeah, you got to or put it in a bag.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of spots to stop at, but But that part was definitely within the first 15 minutes of heading down in the morning. I think I started at 5:07 in the morning. And that's the first 15 minutes of the trail on South Kaibab. Only the first 15 minutes.
That's when you started hiking?
That's when I first started going down, yeah.
So had you camped the night before?
I did. I spent the night in the campground at Mather Campground up on the top.
So you already had breakfast?
Not exactly.
I'm just asking, man. Everything's about eating, you know?
No, I was too excited about the hike. I didn't sleep the night before.
All jacked.
I was. And the same thing with the night coming back up. I didn't sleep the night before I came back up. I don't know what it was. That's just who I am. That's just part of my personality.
Yeah.
I ate plenty before then. I had plenty of calories before then. I wasn't worried about that and handling the ride down or the ride up. But
yeah,
I do tend to get excited to the point where I can't sleep. And I don't know why. It's just I'm so pumped.
it's like Christmas, man.
It really is. I just end up waiting all night, like, okay, I'm ready to go.
Right.
I'm ready to go. But if I don't sleep, I'm gonna be tired. But I'm ready to go.
If I go to sleep right now, I'll wake up and it'll happen. But I can't sleep because I'm so excited.
And then then you realize, all right, I'm not gonna sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be dragging ass.
I might as well pack up my tent and head out to the trail. But then no, I'm not gonna get into that.
Right. All right, here we go. One more. Here's we got a few more to go, but this one's 41. We'll see you in 41.
Sure.
All right. So when you're there, do you feel like the weight of history at all?
Yeah, for sure. Those rocks are millions and millions of years old. Billions of years old, I think. I don't remember what my my person I stayed with. Again, not getting into that too much, but I think he said every step down you take, you theoretically how deep the canyon is. Every step down you take is another 100,000 years in history.
Wow.
And it's from 7,000 feet to 2,600 feet. That's a lot of history.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely feel it. You definitely feel something different. And it's definitely a wave of heat coming in on you. So a lot of people don't know this, but the temperature at the bottom of the canyon is typically about 20 to 30 degrees hotter than it is at the top. So if it's 75 degrees at the top of the
opposite of here.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
When you're in depression here, it's cooler.
Yeah, it's an experience for sure, because being at high elevation in hot weather but low humidity is fantastic. I can't stress that enough. Being at 7,000 feet with no humidity, even if it's 95 degrees, I was comfortable. I could wear my hair down. It's totally different than being in the Midwest with a whole bunch of humidity. That's
why I'm moving west.
That's
going to Colorado.
Nasty feeling you get.
So anytime you want to go hiking out west, then you have a place to stay in Colorado.
Awesome. I'll definitely take you up on that.
Right now.
So a lot of people don't know that when you go that far deep into the canyon, that it could be 30 degrees hotter than it is up top with more humidity. It's basically like being in Phoenix or Las Vegas at the low elevation levels where it's just like swamp.
Yeah.
Absolute swamp. In fact, so the first time I went down there, like I said, I spent the night in the cabin. This night, I spent 2 nights in a tent out in the Bright Angel campground. I had no idea that there was such a thing as hot wind.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing I can never understand. Okay, I'm all about great Grand Canyon, sure, but dude, okay, when it never made sense to me, because basically I came up in jobs where I'm sweating balls
Yeah.
all day. I don't want to go somewhere to go fucking sweat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like on my day off, nope. Let's go fucking bake and fucking sweat my ass off and no.
Yeah, and sleep on the ground.
I'm like, forest or lake, whatever. That's totally different. But
Wow. I feel the same way.
I like camping, but as I get older, the more I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, air conditioning is camping.
Yeah. If it's not you, it's not you, and that's okay. And and if it's something that you enjoy, then
I love the idea of it, man.
yeah.
You're more of a glamper, right, Vince?
Part of it is.
I wouldn't say I'm like. I don't know.
No, Vince. I'm talking about Vince.
Oh, Vince.
What's that?
I said you're more of a glamper then, I guess, huh?
Yeah, no. I mean, I would camp, but
he's got the AC unit in the corner.
Right. Little fridge with snacks,
Right.
Yeah.
Hey.
You know what? That doesn't matter too. If whatever gets you outdoors, I feel like whatever.
I want to go out west. Even if it, fuck it. If it's 5 acres and fucking throw a brand new fucking trailer on there, fucking RV thing. It's like it's a fucking condo on wheels.
Right. That's fine too.
A pole barn where everything can happen. Jam, fucking big kitchen, everything there.
Oh yeah. My wife and I talk about getting a trailer all the time, and just do we want a pickup truck with a trailer attached to it, or do we want to get like a Winnebago type thing where it's all one package and move across the country and stuff like that? Right. Either way, it's fine. Whatever is your gig is your gig. If that's what you want to do, you want to be comfortably air conditioned in a Winnebago, that's fine. I sweat all day long at my job. I want to sweat challenging myself.
Right, man.
Hiking down one of the hardest hikes I've ever had in my life.
Sure.
That's just it. And that's what makes me comfortable. That's what challenges me. And that that when I made it back to the top, that made it all the worthwhile for me.
All right, so here's something. So what are some creative things that you've had to learn as a hiker and doing something like that? There's always little tricks and inside.
Well, a lot of places when you think about hiking, normally you're either on a pretty level ground or you're hiking up mountains, so you go up first, then you come down.
Shoes, gloves, or not.
Right. Whatever the weather conditions are, you got to prep for that, obviously, in the fall and the winter, the fall and the spring, especially in the canyon, you got to prep for all seasons, because at the top it could be 40 degrees, but at the bottom it could be 70 or 80.
Right.
So you got to prep for snowfall, and you got to prep for rain. You got to prep for heat. Yeah. Do you need a sleeping bag that's rated at this, or you have no idea? So you got to kind of, follow the guidelines there's a lot of research that has to be really done in order to hike anywhere, in my opinion. You got to know the terrain. You got to know what you're getting into, how far you're going, how far you can go, what your equipment's like. Money's a big issue. Yeah. I think my wife also liked to say this, but some of her friends have said this too, but it's expensive to live homeless. It's expensive to camp and live like a homeless person.
Right.
And it's true.
Scale.
It's true. I've got multiples of everything. I have multiple multiple sleeping pads, multiple air mattresses, tents, sleeping bags, even fire starting equipment, knives, all this stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a very expensive hobby. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but it's very fulfilling, especially in the Grand Canyon, particularly because, again, I did it before when I was 20 years old, and I wanted to prove something to myself this time. And this time was actually easier for me because I came more well prepared. I knew more about the terrain and the heat that I was going to be dealing with. Hiking poles are definitely a must, especially on the way up. That saved my life this time because last time I went down, I carried 2 liters of water and maybe some snacks. On the way back up, I was practically dead because I was rushing. I wanted to get up. I kept going, and I kept going. This time, with more experience and 30 pounds on my back, with 3 liters of water, a tent, a sleeping pad, food, a cook kit, a knife, whatever, a health kit just for, like if I got in an accident or anything like that. My tracker, 30 pounds this time. If I didn't have those hiking poles, I don't think I would have made it.
Right.
So definitely.
Yeah, now I'm like, wait, you got to carry shit down? Yeah, I'd never fucking make it.
Yeah.
No, I'd just be like, free fall.
I think I got really lucky because I have a lot, being a technician, I have a lot of pains. I have elbow pain. And in fact, I was going to mention one thing that I can't.
Yeah, you got to fight through it. You got a little pain. It's got to keep going. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter how many times you've been knocked down. It's like
yeah. How's my Adrian face? All right. I've got pain all over the place. I've got elbow pain. I've got knee pain. I've got ankle pain. For some reason during this trip,
my ankle pain's connected to my knee pain.
Knee pain. Knee pain's connected to my middle finger.
Right?
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got lucky on this trip. I didn't have any pain. I didn't have any problems.
That's good.
Yep. So
nice.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty sweet.
We got some other ones here. Hold on. Who you got there? We got yourself for Joe's and Wales.
We're just gonna go paddling for a while.
All right, a few more clips. Here's another one. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's just that view right there is the first time you see the river, it's just like, oh my God. It's like you almost made it.
Right.
but then you got like 2 more miles to go, and it's
Right.
like,
No.
but that one, this video right here was just like, I'm almost there. I made it. All I
Yeah.
got to do is do a couple more switchbacks, and that's it. I'm down. That's
Right.
it. I got to make it out of this fucking thing.
Right.
But I had 2 days to rest this time, and I didn't have 2 days last time, and I think that really helped.
No.
Again, I like to challenge myself. I like to feel the burn. I like to feel the pain. I like to, and my back didn't have anything to do with it. You know what really hurts the most? Your calves.
Mm.
Your calves hurt the most.
Nice.
And it's all on the way down. So imagine being
I have to get some ice. I'll be right back. Continue talking.
for sure. So imagine being on a Stairmaster for 6.5, 7 miles
Right.
backwards.
Yeah, I mean, imagine the angle. It's probably like putting all of the pressure right there, right? You know?
Yep. It's all the angles and the way that the trails are designed. There's a whole bunch of logs that kind of line every step down. So when your foot hits that part, you're kind of typically hitting it with your toes, and it flexes those muscles back there a lot. So by the time you get down, you're just like
screaming,
ow, ow, ow.
Carry me.
Mm-hmm. And then on the way back up, it's all the opposite side of the leg. So when you get back up, you're just dead. But I like that. I like that kind of feeling. I like that kind of pain. I like that kind of endurance. I like the struggle.
And knowing that you're actually doing something while you're here on Earth, right? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
it's a break from work.
You're
the everyday routine.
Personal shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it probably, I think, like guys like us. I mean, like when you're working all the time, when you do get the chance to do something like that, it means more, right? Because it's like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So the first couple days I was back at work, it was actually kind of harder for me to be back at work,
right,
than it was to hike the Grand Canyon, because my job is also physically demanding.
Right.
So I struggled I came back half of a week. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I worked 3 days, and I just crashed on Sunday.
Right.
So I was like, kind of defeat, kind of.
Right.
It wasn't the same thing. It's completely different.
Welcome back to hell.
Exactly.
And that's the work.
But your friend Carrie's not there anymore, so.
Oh, you don't say. Finally, huh?
Oh, she gone.
Finally, took him that long?
Gone.
Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable how many times this.
I take it you weren't a fan?
Dude,
Nobody
because
was.
you have to pick up their slack. So when you're calling in 8 days a fucking month,
yeah,
and there's never any recourse, and you can't even call in once, or you're on the fucking hit list.
Right.
yeah. And then when she does show up, you're the one that ends up staying an hour late for her.
Right. Oh, no, I didn't stay an hour late for nobody.
Oh, I did all the time.
Yeah, not on my side, because,
Anyway.
Yeah. Then once they went to 100% commission, that's when I left and went to parts.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, what you're gonna expect me to do? No way, thank you.
No,
I'll be in parts. I can't do that. Because people are gonna be, But I do have to say this after working at a dealership. Because my opinion was always like, fuck that, don't take it to a dealer. Now my opinion is totally opposite of that.
Oh, for sure.
Always take it to the dealer.
I tell
So
people
what if
that
they charge more because they've been doing it for 40 years.
Yep.
There's a Mr. Miller back there somewhere, or a Mike.
Yep.
Or the other Mike.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? There's guys who that's all they do.
Yeah.
That's who you want working on your car. Not
that is really funny that you say that, because I feel like a lot of people that I tell that to, they don't believe me.
Oh, it's totally true. Yeah. It may cost you more, but they know what the fuck they're doing. You're not going to go back 17 times and pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. because there's little things in there if you're nice to the people in service. There's little things in there, little surprises that you never know. You know, like for example, there's this guy. There was something happened, so there was a whiff of something going wrong. So you had to, let's say hypothetically, you had to test the oil consumption, right?
Yeah.
Just something you had to, you know what I'm saying, Jason?
Yeah.
So hypothetically, you had to test something, and because there was maybe an issue that wasn't acknowledged yet, but it could be brewing, because that's how it happens. Those are the steps, right?
Yeah.
So there's this guy who, you know, he was the manager of the local comic book store that me and the boys went to every Wednesday when new shit dropped. We'd go there, and then he was the guy who took over for Dick Tracy comic strips, right? My buddy Jim. So he was the guy illustrating Dick Tracy comic strips for the newspapers. So he had done every little, oh yeah, you farted, and you know you got to get this special deal, a B39, and okay, you know he did everything. Clockwork never was over on a gas, you know, on a oil change, this, that, and the other, because basically when it came down to it, he needed a new engine, and I grabbed it from another person randomly, and I'm like, oh, this is a buddy of mine, you know, and so anyway, so I got it. I'm like, dude, I'm like, hey, mention this. I'm like, just give me like 2 days, right? So basically, he got it under that, and he got a new motor, and he was ready to pay a new fucking engine.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like grabbed that from another advisor because they'd rather this guy did everything he was supposed to do at Clockwork,
Yeah.
and they were going to charge him for a new engine, and I stepped in and said no. You know, it's little shit like that when you're working for 100% commission.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, dude is a good customer. Why are you going to hose him?
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, but anyway.
There's always some shady shit going down in the automotive world.
Oh, for sure, man. You know, and if you're honest, it's, you know, sometimes it's kind of hard to navigate like this. Hey, Jay, if old Jorge was on here, he'd be like, that's where I like to wash my britches. Dude, look at this.
Hey, baby, what you doing? Oh, shit. Oh, I can't believe I saw that baby deer.
Dude,
That was
how
amazing.
cool is that? That like makes worth the trip, the whole, you know, that makes the trip worthwhile, man. That's badass. Everyone just watch this again. A little baby deer randomly running up to Aaron on the trail.
Yeah. Well, okay, that started a little bit earlier. So that little thing right there woke me up that morning, and it was still pretty dark outside, and all I heard was, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum.
Tell that again because they couldn't hear you while the video was playing.
Oh, sorry. So that he woke me up that morning, and it was still pretty dark outside, and all I heard was,
"Good morning."
Yo, what are you doing here? This is my land, okay?
If you're feeling awkward when you walk today,
you're gonna feel.
That's
No.
cool. So like you're in its neighborhood camping.
Yeah, it was just frolicking around and woke me up. And I was like, what the fuck is that? I zipped my part of my tent apart, and he saw me, and I saw him, and he didn't see me. And I went, hi, and he goes, whoa! Freaks out and jumps up. And I spent the next hour trying to get that video.
Dude, that is the best. That is
Just
totally cool.
Chasing him around the park. I had a conversation with somebody he's like, "Did you see the baby deer?" I was like, "Yeah, right now I'm trying to film him, show him to all my friends."
Right.
He's like, "Well, if you happen to catch a video, let me see." I was like, "All right, fine." It took me an hour, and the trails are so long, and I was just kind of sitting there, and I saw this little like dot just zoom along the trail on the other side of the creek, and I was like, "Oh, that's got to be him." So I got down there real low, and I finally got a picture of him. Yeah, that was definitely one of the highlights of being down there. I love this shot.
That is badass.
I love this shot.
As you can see, Jason took a shit in the lake.
Turned it all brown.
He's like,
The
here's some
day I
cord
was
light for you.
banned.
Or bush light.
Bush.
Yeah,
Paps.
fucking caveman, I love you.
Oh yeah.
That's the Schlitz River right there.
The Schlitz? Is it really?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay,
Yeah.
right on.
The Colorado Schlitz River.
Hams.
Hams.
Wow, man.
That's awesome.
Dude, that is badass.
Unbelievable. Even me looking at it like right now, I'm like, wow.
Right?
I would have tripped over one of those rocks and like gone off the
I'd be
side.
like, oh man, it's funny that you say that, Jason, because I'm like thinking how many people have like accidentally tripped and like ate shit off the mountain.
Yeah, like is that like a thing out there? A lot of accidents?
No. I think an average of 11 people a year die out there.
Oh, okay.
It's not very only 11.
What? It happens.
Those are the guys that ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah.
It happens, man. Just
It
random.
happens.
That's why you got to get a permit.
It's a random event.
You mess with a goat, you die with a goat.
Yeah.
That was
You know how
Jim
many
Brewer,
times
not a
Jason,
goat.
you know how many times Jason has heard that while he's having sex in his life? More than you think. More than you think. I'm just saying. Okay, so this is the way my brain works. I'd be seeing that same thing, and in my head would be going, ooh. All it's like sci-fi from like 1970 would be going through my head, you know, like Planet of the Apes.
with a little synth kind of music in the background.
Yeah.
Ooh, wee, 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 wee. Cha, 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 cha. Pa, 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 pa. And then Kirk pops out.
Right.
There's something in the hills.
I don't know why my asshole hurts. Yeah, you do, Kirk. But
Oh.
we're not here to judge, man. Oh, wrong one. Okay, so what's this now?
Oh, that's the tunnel leading to the bridge across the river on the South Kaibab Trail.
Here we have Andrew Sheffield.
That is the end of the road.
Specimen. Hey, that's gonna cost me once you get past a couple.
You can also play some alien music out here. Kong, 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 kong.
Dun, dun, dun. How are these bridges, man?
Oh, they're fantastic.
That looks pretty badass, actually.
I mean, they can hold about 15 mules at a time, so
they're not like swaying.
no.
Nice. Don't have to use a catapult or a crossbow.
You don't have to run across going, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh,
Actually,
real quick. Hold on. Vito's got something to say. Hold on.
The Book of Vito Bupkis.
Well,
Hey, everybody.
is it working?
The Book of Vito Bupkis.
Hey, everybody, it's your pal Vito. In this book, I talk about subjects people seem to get their panties in a wad over. I mean, who would have thunk? Gay fucking marriage, common fucking sense, garage fucking sales. But hey, what do I know? Guaranteed to offend, and it's available now at vincentcustos.com. And, you can get it there.
The Book of Vito Bupkis.
So order yours today, or else.
That's what Vito had to say. I don't know. But, the Van Halen crossover with the Beard Speaks is doing pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good. We did...
I watched that. That was pretty good.
Oh, nice. Thank you. And Jason will be on that show shortly as well. And then Pat will be on. And, basically Pat was supposed to open up for Pantera yesterday. Or not Pantera. The fucking Puddle of Mud. And then basically they had to pull out of the show. So they wound up headlining. But really cool guy. And does a lot for veterans and, fundraising, all that kind of stuff. And he's under Vaudeville Press, and he's going to have a book coming out. He's a metalhead guitar player, talking about his fight with cancer, and that'll be discussed more as time goes on. But absolutely. And so what did you take away from your whole Grand Canyon experience going back 19 years later? What was the difference when you got there both times and the difference when you left?
The difference when the difference in general was that I didn't have a good camera. At least I still don't have a good camera.
Now he's thinking practically. He's thinking like a father. He wants a good camera. Why didn't I have a better camera?
I need a good picture.
Why didn't I have a better camera? I don't know these things.
Exactly. You got to get a good camera.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's supposed to those disposable pieces.
Right. But isn't that funny though? Like as to ourselves as like rockers and shit and like metalheads, like one of the first things, like, I would have had a better camera. Like,
yeah, for sure.
30 years ago to be like, dude, if I had more blow, it'd be like fucking raw.
Exactly.
And yeah. And we're like, better camera would have been exceptional. That just, that right there is a huge difference,
Right. Like the Pantera concert that I saw with Black Sabbath. If I had a camera back then, it would sound like.
Right.
But,
like one of my things that I'm like totally waiting for is to see how like elderly metalheads are portrayed in film and television.
Elderly metal.
Because, dude, that's gonna be fucking hilarious when we're the old fucks. You know what I mean, Jason?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
just, that's just gonna be fucking. It's coming.
It's
Oh,
not
it's
going to be
coming.
like. It's not going
And
to be
maybe
like.
vaudeville press. You never know.
Right.
But yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
All they're going to do is throw some horns.
Oh, dude, someone did this to me one time, and I couldn't fucking believe it, and I make fun of it all the time. And they're like, "Hey, da da da," because had bands and shit around here during the day. Hey, Vector, da. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" Flipping the horns. Well, and she's like, "What the fuck is that?" And she's like, "Too much metal for one hand." I'm
Super
like,
horns.
that is just fuck off. Get out of here.
Metal.
No, ew.
I like that.
Ew. Too much metal for one hand, motherfucker. Dude, I'm like, what is that? Like, okay.
I like it.
No, dude, no, you got. Come on. The extra effort. Separate, erect. Separate, erect. Oh, sorry.
He said erect.
Yeah, I wrecked, and thank you for everyone who took a couple minutes out of their day to say, "Hey,
Exactly.
how you doing, buddy?" I'm doing fine. Thank you very much.
You're doing
But,
fantastic.
look at Jason with his sculpted goatee. He, when we started this podcast, he looked like a caveman.
And I will be again. You can count on it.
Absolutely. And dude, I swear to God, you should put out your own fucking garden gnomes.
Oh yeah.
With your fucking sayings, dude. He came up with this thing fucking today. There's gonna be a meme coming out Monday with Jason's face on it, and it's fucking hilarious. And everyone loved Jason's promos for season 2, and they were as well as me, and they were fucking great. So when it was time for me to do my part, I'm like, can't even beat it. Just gonna use stuff that I already had because I can't beat that because it was fucking great.
I sacrificed my self-respect for this.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're fucking great. So we're gonna be doing some more shorts and basically Friday we start off with the fuck offy Friday, and so it'll be like just a 1 minute me rant, and then we're gonna be doing some more shorter content like we're doing with song reviews, and those have been doing good for us. So please like, subscribe, share if you want, and if you would please subscribe on the audio side. YouTube, click like, but so we'd rather do this for a living than do what we do for a living. So please just
that would be,
if you would.
That would be fabulous.
Right. But Aaron, man, so what's your next hiking adventure? Where do you going to go next? What's after the Grand Canyon?
It's kind of hard to compare, but
Is it international now, or is it still
no?
No Everest.
So I work a 40-hour work week. It's kind of hard to get time to get off.
What do you do the rest of the week?
Well, I don't have.
Where do I get one of those 40-hour jobs? I'm just kidding. Man. I'm just feeling sorry for myself.
No, Jason gets hammered, man. Six days a week, split shift.
I already get hammered 6 days a week, so if you want to trade, that's cool with me.
One thing cool about being the service advisor at that place that we both happen to work at was that you got 5 days off in a row.
Not anymore.
My schedule was you got 5 days off in a row.
Yeah.
Wow.
At one point, once a month, you'd have 2 days off here, 2 days off one day, and then a 5 day.
Not anymore.
Really?
They've changed the service riders' schedules a little bit. I'm not even sure what it is right now. I never know when anybody's working anymore. But I think it's close to that. I think they work a 4-day now, and they're off for 2 or 3 days, and then they come back and work another 4 10-hour days. So it's closer to a 4 10-hour day work week.
Yeah.
but the techs are still all whatever. So I'm still kind of dealing with trying to get more than 1 day off at a time. I don't have 2 days off in a row ever.
Right.
But if that ever happens, and we'll see what happens, I want to go down to southern Illinois in the Shawnee National Forest. There's so many beautiful spots down there. That's the closest place to home that I can go to where it seems like it's something that I'm interested in actually seeing, because there's cliffs, there's rock falls, there's waterfalls, all beautiful landscape from what I've seen down there. I've never been to, but want to go. And I've had friends that have gone to school in Carbondale that always talk about the Shawnee National Forest, and they want to go back too. So maybe I'll make that into something someday, but work is always kind of getting in the way.
Yeah, fucking work.
Yeah.
And it takes like
Fuck, man.
5,
Oh,
6 hours.
If you
want
want to get paid, you got to show up. Ooh. It's ridiculous. Aaron,
I've been working.
let me ask you a quick question.
Sure, go ahead.
New Megadeth thoughts?
I have not listened to it yet.
Oh, but yet you wear the shirt.
Yeah, but
Oh,
you know
look
what?
at my Megadeth shirt with my nipples and the lamb. Oh, Lamb of God. Oh, sorry. Look at you.
Do you want to see the nipples too? It's in between the
Ladies
O
and
and
gentlemen, welcome to CreatiVity Talkin.
It's in between the O and the A.
Lamb of God.
Lamb of God and nipples.
I think I've paid so much for this shirt. I've
Yes.
paid $45 too much for this shirt.
Yeah. Okay, so all right. Quickly on that subject. I have not listened to the new Megadeth. I plan on it. I definitely plan on it. But I just saw Rage Against the Machine and got a free shirt out of that one.
Nice.
So
See how that all comes around, people?
It all comes around.
Synchronicity.
Exactly. I don't know how I ended up with a free shirt, but it ended up like on my thigh in my seat while I was standing up, and I was like, "What is that?" And
Boy, if I had a nickel for every time something showed up on my thigh,
something in a sack showed up on your thigh,
I'd have a nickel. Maybe 10 cents.
10 cents, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not counting George. Vince.
Shit, fish, fuck, motherfucker, and
Shit.
free shirts.
Yeah. Shit, tits, cock, motherfucker. What is it? Shit. Oh, the 7. Shit. Oh.
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And then fart, turd, and twat.
Nice. Right.
Huge Carlin fan.
Absolutely. Mr. Carlin.
I
Met him one time.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
In a coffee shop, Wednesday's coffee shop in Santa Monica. And I did not say a fucking word. He's getting his coffee.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
To be able to get that coffee.
I just gave him a head nod. He gave me a head nod. That's fucking good enough for me. But what's funny is I used to run into Lily Tomlin every morning at the fucking gas station getting cigarettes.
Oh, yeah?
Every fucking morning, dude. It was fucking hilarious. So it'd be me, Lily Tomlin, and fucking, what's the dude's name?
Okay, but Lily Tomlin's definitely a lot more approachable.
He was in Wayne's World. Fucking, he was the pretty boy.
Oh,
He was in West Wing.
I know who you're thinking of.
Yeah, so his brother. So it would be the three of us showing up at the gas station at the same fucking time every morning, right? And
Rob Lowe.
Yeah, so Rob Lowe's brother. So every morning I'd be behind Lily in line for smokes, and she'd turn around and I'd be like, Lily, Vince, and just walk past. And it was the fucking funniest fucking thing, dude. Because we even went to different places. Because if one was busy, you went to the next place to get smokes. And this is like in the 90s, And it was funny because we'd always wind up at the same time, and I'd always be behind her.
Did she give you that Lily Tomlin smirk?
Oh, dude, it was fucking hilarious because like half the time both of us are fucking baked. So we're like, Lily, and she knew I
Lily.
was like cool. I wasn't gonna mess with her. So, she's a fucking master of her craft, But yeah, that was pretty cool. That was one of the benefits of living out there. You run into people. I like Mr. T ran into him. Hey Chicago. That's what he used to call me. Hey Chicago, because we used to go to the same fucking little place to grab our lunch shit. And this is when he was dealing with cancer, and he just cut down to piss off his neighbors in Chicago. He just cut down like 80 trees that you're not supposed to cut down. He just and he's like, "Fuck you," and I thought that was great. I mean, it's his fucking property, whatever. And then he was dealing with cancer, so he was out there doing it. And I'd be like, "Hey, man." I'm like, fucking, that was awesome with the fucking trees, dude. So after that, he's like, "Hey, Chicago." So he was cool, dude, man. But yeah, just a couple of things from back there. And my office was in Jim Morrison's old studio, and he wrote, "This is the end." So when you walk out of the office and you see the sign for the bus, that was right there. So that was always cool to go out there and some cool stuff, some history, but all right, Aaron, thank you, sir. So okay, so if time and price was no object,
Okay.
where would you hike?
Time and price was no object. Probably the Continental Divide.
Nice.
The whole trail.
Mm-hmm.
So from New Mexico all the way to Canada.
Wow.
And how long would that take you?
Months, probably 5-6 months. Obviously with breaks in between. So there's 3 major trails that go through the United States, and I hope I can remember all of them. The Appalachian Trail, the Pacific, the PCT. What does that stand for?
Pacific Central?
Something like that. And then there's the
Canadian, like the Canadian Divide?
Yeah, it's west of the Continental Divide Trail. But I think I would rather do the Continental Divide Trail. It starts out in New Mexico, and then it goes through Colorado, and then up through, I think, Wyoming, and then Idaho, and then up through Canada.
Yeah.
I just love the West.
Yeah, me too.
The Appalachian Trail sounds fantastic, too, but I've been to Georgia. I've been to
Georgia.
I've been to Tennessee. I've been to Western Virginia. I don't know if I feel like going all the way to Maine.
Yeah.
And no, that doesn't sound like fun to me. I love the West.
Those people. Yeah.
No, yeah, fuck, no.
Hey, fuck those people. No, but yeah, no. Me personally, I like woods or mountain. Mountains number one. So that's why I'm gonna move to Colorado. So I need to be.
That sounds awesome.
That's my fucking. Some people like lakes or the ocean. Dude, I want to look at mountains.
Mm-hmm.
It's so peaceful and serene,
I've definitely been to Colorado Springs, and it's beautiful out there. Just even looking west out to the mountains, it's
right.
Completely different from what you see out here. That's why I would rather do the Continental Divide than anything else, is because the mountains. Again, right. The Appalachian Trail, you see hills, but it's all forest land. The mountains you can see for miles in the west, as opposed to the Appalachians in the east. Again, if time and money were not a thing, that is what I would do. Definitely, I would spend a lot of time in the west, especially. Yeah, I got nothing else to say to that, really. In America, that's where I would go.
Yeah. Jason? Yeah. Be like, I'd be down at the Holiday Inn down the road there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd like to do like a dive bar tour, like find all like the best dive bars.
Well, I'll stop in. I'll split the price with you.
Oh,
we can
go. Nice segue, Jason, because coming up, either next week or the following week, we're going to have some one of the hosts of a new podcast called Tales from a Dive Bar coming
Oh,
on.
right on.
And yeah, so we'll both be on there, so there's stories to tell. And yeah, so Tales from a Dive Bar.
That sounds like fun.
Absolutely. All right, man. So we're going to wrap it up here. Hey, man, love you guys. Thanks for being honest, Aaron. Anytime you want to come on, man, come and hang out. You're always welcome. You're
Sure.
part of the pod family now. So if you got something to say or you just want to hang out and you're home at Saturday and you want to have time, we're here for you, brother. Have a couple of cocktails, hang out, and
I still got half a beer left.
talk guitars. Well, you better slam that. Jason, you still got some sparkling water?
Nah, I switched to beer now.
Oh, what are you drinking now, buddy?
Come on.
Bush Light.
Yeah, but it's a special edition can.
Yeah, with the fucking green can. That's appetizing.
It's for the farmers.
Yeah, put it in John. Yeah, this is the redneck can, John Deere, motherfucker.
It's a keto can, sugar free,
Right.
grass fed can.
I'm just drinking iced tea, but
You've been partaking, haven't you?
He loves his tea.
I
it.
have been partaking. That is part of the deal. So yeah. Let's see. This week, it's For the Block is the brand name, and portions of every puff donated back to the community.
What?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna donate my puff.
Yeah, the THC value is 27.53%.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it says never run out of gas, and this is called premium octane gas.
I never run out of gas either.
All right. Totally. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so okay, we're gonna wrap it up
That's
here,
all.
right? Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks
Later,
for having
people.
me.
All right.
Oh, you're welcome. Take care, man.
You too.